Reptile friends. Here at Heritage Farm we have one tortoise and his name is Leonard. He's an African spurred tortoise. Tortoises count too because World Turtle Day is sponsored by the American Tortoise Rescue. Even though tortoises aren't the same as turtles, because tortoises live most all the time on land and turtles spend most all of their time in the water. Leonard is an African spurred tortoise, like I said. He is the third largest land tortoise, being an African spurred tortoise. Leonard is super used to people being here at the petting zoo, so he won't go in his shell. In fact, he's enjoying a watermelon here. We decided to give him his first watermelon of the summer for the celebration treat. Leonard loves any red fruits. He loves tomatoes, strawberries, and watermelon. And people think that might be because red might be one of the only colors they can actually see. So anything that is red really catches his eye, for sure. So he loves to chow down on those watermelons. But in the wild, these tortoises would eat primarily grasses and leafy greens, which most of Leonard's diet is grass and leafy greens, like kale is his favorite. So because Leonard likes his kale, you should eat your kale too. It's good and healthy for you. But we'll let Leonard finish up his watermelon here as I tell you that he is 18 years old and he weighs about 60 pounds. But the largest African spurred tortoises can be over 200 pounds and they can live up to 70 years. So Leonard's just a baby. Let's head on in and see our box turtles. Keep chowing down on that. So I'm going to be giving our box turtles some strawberries. They're burrowed in the hay here. Peekaboo. West Virginia. Give them some strawberries. They also love red, for sure. In the wild though, they're not just herbivores like Leonard the tortoise, they also eat insects. So they're really important for pest and insect control around here in our state. They're really slow moving and tortoises are kind of famous for that. Although these are not tortoises nor turtles, they're terrapins, which a terrapin is a kind of turtle that lives kind of half of its time soaking in water and the other half of its time on land. Oh, there we go, Franklin in for the first bite. And so a terrapin is kind of a half and half. It's not a true turtle because it doesn't spend all its time in water. It's not a true tortoise because it doesn't spend all its time on land either. That's why they love it here in West Virginia, because we have really damp grass and they like to be in puddles and on the sides of the roads where water collects. So that's unfortunately the place where you'll see them a lot around here, is trying to cross the road to get to puddles. And the problem is they're so slow moving because they don't have a very protein-rich energy diet. They mostly eat insects, grasses, and some flowers. They like dandelions. They get these strawberries as special treats here. And when you see one crossing the road, which often happens right after a rain, if you are able to safely stop, get it out of the way of vehicles, because when they're folded up in their shell, a lot of times people driving don't realize it's not just a rock. The shell is called a plastron and the top is called a carapace. A lot of people ask, how do they get their shell? Well, they're born with it. And this is their spine. You can see the spine is in the inside of their shell. So it grows with them as they grow. So you can see this tiniest turtle here and how large they do grow when they're older. Harriet here is about 18 years old, as to where little Squirt here is probably only 3 years old. Another thing that's really important not to do, we found this turtle with nail polish on it, and that's actually, whoever did that probably just thought it would be fun to paint the turtle, but that's not okay because that disrupts their ability to camouflage themselves from their predators. So that pink stands out as where the brown helps them blend in with the ground so that predators like raccoons can't find them. All right, you can come back and enjoy your strawberry. All right, let's move on to some of our other turtle friends. Let you up here and shut this door. Hi, Izzy Bug. All right, these next guys I'm about to show you are really cool. They're also native to West Virginia. They are eastern spiny soft-shell turtles. I can't pick them up for you because their necks can extend to 3 times the length of their shell and come around at the back and bite me. So they use their necks to extend, they can extend double to triple their body size as they grow larger, to sit on the bottoms of surface of rivers here in West Virginia and then stick up their neck to breathe out the top like a little straw. Their shells are not hard, you might notice, like most other turtles that you think of. They're soft, hence their name, Eastern Spiny Softshell Turtle. And it feels really leathery. And that's because they don't really need a hard shell because they spend most of their time hiding under rocks in the rivers anyway. These guys are just used to people, so that's why you see them coming up and swimming. See, you can see that turtle's long neck. Their names are Pancake and Flapjack because we think they look like little pancakes. Now, these guys are small because they're only 1 year old, but they can grow to be the largest turtle we have in this area, and they can grow they would take up almost half of this tank. But these guys are just very young, so that's why they're only about the size of a $50. These turtles are actually carnivores, so they eat pretty much everything small enough for them to eat that moves in the water. They'll eat worms, they'll eat water insects, they pretty much chow on anything that we stick in there. But we'll see how they respond to these reptimin sticks. Maybe they might stick their necks up for you to eat one to see. But they also might not be hungry. They don't eat very often. In fact, they only eat about every 2 to 3 days. So they might not be interested. Unlike Leonard and the box turtles who would eat all day if you let them. Then we'll show you our last kind of turtle that we have. We have 2, but they're big, so I can only hold one at a time. And this is our favorite. This is Cosmo. Cosmo has been here for a long time, and she is a red-eared slider. Now, people tend to think they're native to here, but they're actually not. They are invasive. They're native to southeastern U.S. around the Gulf of Mexico, but because these turtles are such efficient predators and eat minnows and eat crayfish, they kind of beat out other turtles that lived in this area and became invasive and took over our rivers and waterways. So it's very important that if you have one of these as a pet, you do not let it go in the wild, because if you let it go in the wild, they might kill off the turtles who do live here, like those soft shells, and other turtles like red-bellied sliders, or if you're further south, yellow-bellied sliders. And we want those native turtles to get their chance to survive and thrive in our area first. So, do not let your pet red-eared sliders into the wild. Cosmo's saying hey for the camera.